You're watching ESPN's coverage of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's.
Every year at the Maui Jim Maui Invitational, teams are identified that can win the national championship. We saw it last year with North Carolina. This year's field, no exception.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing Notre Dame. Bonzie Colson is a player of the year type candidate, and I think they have a real shot at playing for a national title. Michigan coming off a great run at the end of the year. Mo Wagner, Duncan Robinson have been terrific. But, Jay, I think the cream of the crop has to be Wichita State, no?
Wichita State's got maybe the best point guard here in Landry Shamet. Greg Marshall's done an amazing job. But it really doesn't matter. We're in Maui. Oh, I love Maui. Turn this thing around. We're going to the Lahaina Civic Center now.
We sure are. Welcome to the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. Another great field, another premier college basketball event here during Feast Week. Our first game today, the Marquette Golden Eagles taking on the VCU Rams on the first of what should be 3 great days of college basketball. We've got the number 6 team in the nation, Wichita State, coming up after this game on ESPN2. Notre Dame, Chaminade, and Michigan, and LSU in the bottom half of the bracket. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maui. By the way, that was Dockich before, not me on the boat. Dockich will be here for the games later today. Just always great to be back here in Maui for this tournament.
Yeah, and I don't know why I was so surly there. I think I need to apologize on behalf of the human race. But this tournament identifies champions. Sometimes it identifies frauds. But you are going to find out exactly who you are when you play here.
Last year's champion won the national championship, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Let's start with the first team we're going to see today. The first game will start with Marquette. They've got a couple of guys who can shoot the ball with anybody.
They are elite shooters. Andrew Rousey and Marcus Howard, both of them shoot at or near 50% from three-point range. Half of their attempts and half of their makes are three-point shots, and they are automatic from the free throw line. If you foul them, they are making their free throws.
So that's something for VCU to be very aware of. Their head coach, Mike Rhodes, was an assistant under Shaka Smart when they went to the Final Four back in 2011, and he's brought back that pressing havoc system that Shaka Smart employed.
Well, they want to put pressure 94 feet. If you turn your back, they're coming with traps. If you get across half court and you are not strong with the ball, they are coming with traps. They have not had a lot of steals to start the season because they're still getting used to this 94 feet for 40 minutes. But one thing that can happen in this game, if Marquette handles that pressure, are open threes. Will they get them or will they turn it over?
This one has a chance to be a very interesting game. Steve Wojciechowski, in his 4th season as the head coach at Marquette, took his team to the NCAA tournament last year. And in 1997, 20 years ago, Wojo was the most valuable player of the Maui Invitational as Duke defeated Arizona in the championship game.
Boy, that's interesting because Wojo hasn't mentioned that at all since he's been here.
He said tongue-in-cheek. VCU in white, Marquette in blue. Both teams have traveled well. A lot of fans here, as you can see, behind the 2 benches, and we're underway here in Maui.
One thing about VCU, they're not only a team that plays at a fast pace. This team has the best hair in America.
Absolutely.
Number 1 in the country in hair.
Absolutely. They were a unanimous preseason number 1 in the hair department. Johnny Williams, one of those guys, into Justin Tillman, and Tillman is called for the early travel.
Marquette alert defensively early. The ball goes inside, an immediate trap in the post on Justin Tillman. And Tillman was injured to start the season, but is the leading scorer and leading rebounder for this team.
All right, here comes the pressure, and this was what Marquette worked on virtually their entire practice yesterday.
When you get across half court, you can expect a trap. Malik Profield, number 13, did not come with the trap because Andrew Rousey handled it very well there.
Rousey is senior. This is Sam Hauser, another good shooter. They've got 3 elite outside shooters. Hauser will turn it over. Williams off to Dariante Jenkins, 6'5" wingman, driving on Hanif Cheatham.
Marquette early, the first 2 possessions, staying in front. Not an easy team to stay in front of.
Williams, no basket. We have a foul before the field goal attempt.
A little grab of the arm. So he got him with his right arm, and that was just enough to get the foul call. Otherwise, Andrew Rousey did a nice job of staying in front. Justin Tillman, this is the 2nd game in a row he's going to see double teams.
Off the inbound, he gets free, and VCU scores first.
Oftentimes, when you set a screen, the screener is the one that's going to be open.
Pressure again. You'll see it for 40 minutes. And that's a turnover. Profield. You can prepare for it. You can know it's coming, but it's still something different to play against.
You can't simulate it. And you certainly can't pick up your dribble. You've got to catch, face the defense, and prepared to be tough and make a play.
Hauser, we mentioned he is one of the 3 elite shooters. A sophomore from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, gets Marquette on the board.
Well, if Marquette is able to break the pressure as they did there, that's what they're going to get, are wide open threes. They'd have to work awfully hard in the half court to get a shot that good.
Chris Lane called for the travel. There are lots of games you go into them and you say, you know, I could see this game being in the 50s or the 60s. This one has a chance to be a high-scoring game.
No question. And Andrew Rousey did a nice job of getting around that trap and getting around Justin Tillman. He just slipped and fell. And those are the mistakes you have to avoid, the turnovers for touchdowns.
Rousey gets it over.
You know, it's one thing to throw the ball out of bounds. You're still playing 5-on-5 after that turnover. You turn over a live ball that they can take the other way. You can't defend those runouts.
High arcing jumper, not there. You could see, though, how soft the bounce off the rim was. You feel these are great shooters.
These rims should be put in every gym in America. Even bricks go in here.
1 point lead early for the Rams. VCU 2-1 on the season to beat Grambling State, North Florida, then lost by 9 to Virginia on Friday night. Brofield in the corner, knocks down the 3.
Just a beautiful job by Jonathan Williams of splitting that trap. As the ball screen came up, Chris Lane just totally slipped it.
And another turnover.
Just not a mindset for Marquette right now to be tough with the ball.
Brofield gets a wide open look and knocks down another one. And Steve Wojciechowski needs an early timeout. Turnovers and 3-point shooting, and VCU up 7 early. Marquette and VCU in the first game here with the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. What is going well so far for VCU?
Well, a terrific split of this trap by Jonathan Williams, and that means that Marcus Howard is going to have to come in and defend, and he's going to be late getting out to a wide open shooter in Malik Brofield. VCU has been handling its defense very well, but they've also played well in the half court when they've had to execute.
Marquette's turned it over 3 times. Now a foul is going to go on to VCU, and it'll go on Williams, his first. Williams and Tillman, the 2 seniors, they were recruited by Mike Rhodes when he was still an assistant for Shaka Smart. But he was at Rice for 3 years. But Rhodes telling us yesterday, the fact that the 2 of them, especially Williams, that there was buy-in on their part when Rhodes returned to take over the program, that really got him some street cred, as he said, with the rest of the players on the roster. And there's what Marquette will do. Rousey gets free for a 3.
Right off the ball screen. He came off firing. After the timeout, you can see a different look in the eyes of the Marquette players. They came out against this pressure a little bit soft and a little bit weak relative to what they wanted. And it's early in the morning out here in Maui.
Yep. Game starting just after 9:30 local time. VCU not showing ill effects of having some flight issues and getting here later than any other team. And so now Mike Rhodes has a problem. Wojo's worried about the pressure. Rhodes is worried about the 3s, and now a turnover in the backcourt.
Well, not a good sequence for Chris Lane. Just stepped over the line. On that last shot that he had, the 3, that was not a good shot by Chris Lane. That was as good as a turnover. And in transition, how are you going to defend that? Andrew Rousey is not a good shooter. He is a great shooter. It was 10-3 after that timeout, 6 quick points by Rousey, and now out of bounds underneath. And Rousey is the guy you have to watch.
Rousey shot 45% from beyond the arc last season. And so far this year already, 23 points in Marquette's first game against Mount St. Mary's, and then 25 in a loss to Purdue in Marquette's second game.
Andrew Rousey is one of the best players in the country that doesn't get credit for it. Great shot fake. Wow, they called a walk.
And it looks like on the head fake, he may have run into a forearm or an elbow. We'll try to get another look.
Boy, and Rousey is so good with that shot fake. Yeah, he did. He walked. But he got hit right in an elbow. Yeah. With Santos Silva, that is a big, strong elbow he got hit by.
Rousey trying to shake it off.
Santos Silva came over to see how he was and almost headbutted him by accident.
He's a 6'7", 255-pound freshman. Both of these teams working a number of freshmen into the rotation, both relatively young teams.
Well, in that last play, even though that Andrew Rousey walked. Shows how smart he is. He hit a couple threes. You know they're going to try to take it away from him. That play was called for him. And that shot fake was brilliant, just not as executed as well as he wanted.
Another VCU turnover, this time by Isaac Van, who's checked in off the bench. And now Marquette turns it back over. And Wojciechowski just yelled at his team, slow down. Both teams a little bit sped up here early in the morning in game one in Maui.
Excellent.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Maui Gym Sunglasses. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Gym. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So I see you guys had a tough day on Friday, huh?
What, were you breaking rocks?
Back here with the Maui Gym Maui Invitational. First game of 4 today. Who is Mike Rhodes, the current head coach of VCU, a D3 Player of the Year at Lebanon Valley in Pennsylvania, then became the head coach at Randolph-Macon, had a lot of success at the D3 level, as we mentioned, an assistant under Shaka Smart for 5 years, including their great run to the Final Four in 2011. With Rice the last 3 years, now he comes back to take over the program at which he was once an assistant, and he talks about it. I mean, he's honored to be back. He was there for a number of years, and he's brought back that press that Shaka Smart used so successfully when he was in Richmond.
Blue-collar attitude and a really good guy. He was telling me recently when he got the head coaching job at VCU, it was the first time he'd ever been fitted for a suit. I've never been fitted for a suit before. What do you do when you do that?
Both teams shooting the ball well. They're just having trouble getting shots. There have been 9 field goal attempts in the game and 9 turnovers in the game. Williams with a drive. Kick to the corner, and we have yeah, if it's a charge, it's the second on Williams, and that is key. Their starting point guard has picked up 2 fouls less than 5 minutes into the game.
Really nice job by the freshman Greg Elliott. One, to get outside of the restricted area, but second, to get there on time and to hold his position. The pass had already been made, but Jonathan Williams did not come to a jump stop, and his momentum carried him right into Elliott.
So big loss now. Williams to the bench. Crowfield, the starting 2 guard, comes back into the game, and now presumably will handle the ball a lot more. Greg Elliott, one of the freshmen for Marquette, number 5, off to Rousey. Rousey with a couple of early threes.
Malik Crowfield guarding Andrew Rousey. And there's a foul on Theo John, just leaning into that screen. He doesn't need to do that. Rousey can read it. But anytime Andrew Rousey has the ball, VCU's defender wants to have a hand up. They're not worried about him driving. That would only give up 2. They're worried about him and the three-point line.
Rousey to the bench, but Marcus Howard, who is just as good a shooter, he comes in. They're the starting backcourt, but Howard had been on the bench. Jenkins rejected by John. 6'9", 245 freshman from Minneapolis.
I didn't know they built freshmen like that. He could play for the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. I guess I should have said Green Bay Packers with Marquette, but
one of 3 freshmen in the regular rotation for the Golden Eagles. Marquette picked 7th in the Big East coming into the year. Remember, 7 teams out of the 10, though, made the NCAA tournament a year ago. Very strong lead. Jenkins misses the 3. Rebound Howard. How much will Marquette look to run when they get a chance?
They'll try, but it depends on what kind of shot goes up. I mean, VCU's taken a bad shot or 2, and that's allowed Marquette to get out a little bit. Well, Marquette runs some good stuff in the half court, but they have to get things for their shooters.
Van with a quick trigger at the other end, misses the jumper, and over the back foul going against VCU and Santos Silva. This is not the only great tournament going on during Feast Week. There are a number of others, including the battle for Atlantis, where 2 of the top 5 teams in the nation will play. Number 2, Arizona, and number 5, Villanova.
Purdue is probably underrated there. Arizona, the best team, and Villanova's outstanding again. But Purdue has some tremendous size. Isaac Haas and then Matt Arms coming off the bench, 7'3". And Arms, Steve Wojciechowski is talking about Matt Arms as being a future pro. That's how good he thinks he is, just a freshman.
Howard the miss, Sakar Adam with a rebound and a putback. Redshirt sophomore from Minneapolis. And Marquette on an 8-0 run now to take the lead.
And Marquette's going to have to do it defensively. They've got the ability to get stops, and Greg Elliott right there has the ability to be a really good defender and did a good job there.
Elliott fired up.
This may not be Marquette's best offensive lineup, but it's a very good defensive lineup.
3 games in 3 days. Both coaches are going to have to use whatever depth they have, get a little bit deeper into the bench. Play some of these young players in a very high-level tournament. Tough pull up there for Howard.
Talk about elite shooters. Marcus Howard led the nation in three-point field goal percentage last year, 54. And it's not like he was taking wide open ones all the time. Another good play by Theo John defensively.
Marquette in transition. Annam will finish again.
Well, there's your answer on will Marquette run. If you give them an advantage situation, the Golden Eagles will run. And what an answer after the timeout by Steve Wojciechowski. A total mindset change for Marquette.
It is a 12-0 run, Marquette. Rousey may be on the bench, but they still got a score in there, and Howard, as he knocks down the mid-range jumper, and then the John turnover, the Marquette run out, and Annam with a sweet finish.
A good job by Theo John there in the post, but a poor job passing. You have to pass away from the defense, not just to the offense. And Chris Lane's got to do a better job of getting contact on his defender to hold him off. When the ball's passed to you, I don't care whether you're a big guy or a guard, you have to go meet the pass. It sounds like a fundamental thing that the old men say, the old man coaches, but it's true. You can't wait for the ball to come to you. You have to go meet it.
One of the things that we've come to learn about VCU watching the last couple of days is they can have spurts like we've just seen. 2 or 3 minutes where you can't get the ball up against them. They turn you over, they knock down a 3, and then 2 or 3 minutes where they're kind of coming apart a little bit and the other team scoring relatively easily. We've seen some of that already from the Rams.
Well, it's a hard style to play. I mean, players say they want to run and they want to press, but it is a hard style to play, and sustaining it is the difficulty. Really good job. Theo John's done a nice job thus far in the game.
Have a held ball situation. It will go over to Marquette on the arrow.
And Jamal Cain diving on the floor for a loose ball. He took a shot in the chops as well, but a terrific hedge, and Isaac Van just can't play with the ball there. You try to put it between your legs, it's going to be gone.
And again, if it bears repeating, the starting point guard for VCU, Jonathan Williams, Johnny Williams, as he's known to his teammates, he is on the bench with 2 fouls, and they have struggled to execute and get good looks ever since he went to the bench.
Isaac Van comes into the game. I'm not sure that Isaac Van, as 6th man, doesn't have the best hair on the team. Like Johnny Williams has some outstanding hair, so does Justin Tillman. And Chris Lane on most teams would be number 1 in hair.
He's not even on the podium.
Not.
Howard gets free again. And VCU ball.
That's where the size of the Marquette guards is a difficulty because of their finishing.
Mikel Sims, and the reverse won't go down for Tillman. Boy, he had a good look.
Yeah, that one hurts. Good pass ahead.
Marquette looking much more comfortable dealing with the pressure.
Almost got away with a walk, or did get away with a near walk.
Howard with a floater. Soft touch, no. Whoa! Now that was Cain up on the rim with the ball and left hand grabbing the rim. Couldn't throw it down, and it's out of bounds.
Well, Jamal Cain is the best athlete, clearly an above the rim finisher, and he was way above the rim on that one, just couldn't get it in. And Justin Tillman knocked that thing out of bounds. Got to watch Rousey. Anytime he's got the ball, taking the ball out of bounds, they're looking for him after he gets it in.
He's just checked back into the game. So both sharpshooters, Rousey and Howard in the backcourt, and a whistle away from the ball. We've got a foul going against Marquette. It's on Annam.
That's the second moving screen on an out-of-bounds play. Just stand there and let these outstanding guards read it.
And Mike Rhodes is putting Williams back in the game. Came out, I think it was at 15:24 when he picked up the second foul, so back in 3 minutes and 15 seconds later. Mike Rhodes not liking what he's seeing probably on either end of the court right now.
Well, there's so many times when a player has 2 fouls that the coach will say, well, I'm going to leave him out until halftime. But then you're playing the absolute best defense on your team when you take a player out for that length of time.
Tillman with a follow. 6'8" senior from Detroit, averaging 15 points and about 9 rebounds per game.
Rousey's done a nice job of handling the pressure when he gets in.
Hauser back in for Marquette. Puts the brakes on. Corner 3, Howard.
That needed to go to Howard earlier. Oh,
John with a great rebound, but then evidently shuffled his feet to turn it over as we go to break. 3-point lead for Marquette. When we come back, Steve Wojciechowski going 94 feet with Jay Billis on the beach.
What an honor.
"94 feet with Marquette, Steve Wojciechowski." You're a great high school player. Who was the best high school player you played against?
I would say Stephon Marbury or Vince Carter.
How about in college? Best college player you played against?
Tim Duncan.
All right, when Coach K used to get on you as a player, what was he yelling at you about most?
How he used to do it at Army.
I heard that a lot too. All right, what's your favorite thing to eat?
I like a good steak.
If you could coach any other sport, basketball's out, what would you want to coach?
Wow, I would say probably soccer.
All right, none of your players could spell Wojciechowski. Can you spell Krzyzewski?
K.
That's better than we used to get. 94 feet.
Well, he technically wasn't wrong there, but you think a guy who could spell Wojciechowski can spell Krzyzewski. 5th appearance here in Maui. We mentioned they won it when he was at Duke in 1997. He was the most valuable player, and he was an assistant at Duke when they beat Marquette to win this tournament championship in 2007. And they spelled it right up on the MVP scoreboard here that they have here at Maui as well.
Are you sure?
Relatively.
Steve Wojciechowski has never lost a game in Maui. A 2-3 zone right now for Marquette out of the timeout. Just give a different look to VCU.
Van gets inside, takes the contact and finishes. Nicely done.
Isaac Van is an outstanding player. He may be the sixth man, but he may be the best player on this team. Justin Tillman is the leading scorer, leading rebounder, but Isaac Van certainly the most complete player on this VCU team.
He's a redshirt sophomore, scored 16 points per game a couple of years ago as a Maine Black Bear, originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
He did such a good job after getting the contact from Matt Helt of keeping his eyes up. Even though that wasn't a layup, your eyes make layups. You have to keep your eyes on the rim.
Rousey with the help of Hauser gets it over. It's another thing about the Marquette guards facing all this pressure. Neither Rousey nor Howard is a big guy at all. Neither one of them over 6 feet. And they're playing against some long defenders.
Going to drive this matchup. Oh, there's the shot fake. Yeah. Great play by Andrew Rousey. He got a switch. Chris Lane was on him, and Lane wants to take away that three-point shot. What a fabulous shot fake. Gets him up in the air, goes right into him.
So Rousey will head to the free throw line where all he did last year, Jay, was shoot free throws at a 93% clip.
In a scouting report, Andrew Rousey is referred to as automatic. So you foul him, it's an automatic 2 or 3. But that shot fake is so well known in scouting reports. It's one thing to know it's coming, but it's another thing to stay down because he keeps you off balance. But it's got its own hashtag on Twitter. Hashtag the thing.
Isn't that great? Lane to the bench, Cheatham back in. Lane went to the bench for VCU, and Santos Silva returns. This is a game we thought on the surface had a chance to be like this. Very close. Two very different styles of play, but two evenly matched teams.
Just an issue for Marquette of how will the Golden Eagles handle the pressure throughout the 40 minutes in regulation. If they don't turn the ball over, they'll have a chance to get some really good shots.
Williams lost the handle. Marquette back in transition. Rousey a deep one. And the long rebound down to Howard. Cheatham gets a wide open look.
Oh, what a great pass by Marcus Howard. That's a great shot in transition by Andrew Rousey. You might as well take it. You're more likely to get a rebound in transition on the long rebound. That's exactly what happened for Marquette.
They've just got so many shooters.
You know, 20 years ago, Rousey's shot would have been considered a bad one. Now it's a good one. Another turnover for VCU.
Oh, and the third foul on Jonathan Williams. And what a blow that is for VCU.
A veteran player not only turning the ball over, but compounding the mistake by fouling. And you credit the hustle But that's a bad mistake by Jonathan Williams. That's going to probably be it for the rest of the half. You can't risk picking up a fourth one.
So it looks like Crowfield back in there handling the point in the absence of Williams. Good rebound by Matt Help.
Just out-battled Justin Tillman.
And he'll get rewarded with a bucket.
Well, what a great drive after the kick out. Oftentimes, with offensive rebound, you want to kick it out for a three.
Tillman called for the offensive foul. Help stepping in to take a charge. What a sequence for him.
Just a dumb play by Justin Tillman. Great play by Matt Help. But off one pass, going to try to get all the way to the basket. Not even coming to a jump stop, and he's too good of a player to do that. There's some frustration right now on VCU's part.
And Tillman, the back of the foot into the chest of Held. So one senior in Williams picks up his third foul. The other senior in Tillman picks up a charge and then shows frustration. This is not going anywhere near the way that Mike Rhodes wanted it to go.
I think the real frustration was the drive itself. You can take that drive after you reverse the ball and make the defense move.
First game of 4 you'll see today on the ESPN family of networks. We'll have Wichita State. The Shockers are great. They are deep, they are old, they are talented. They'll take on California in the second game, and then the 2 games later on this afternoon here or this evening back in the mainland. Notre Dame and Chaminade will be in the third game, and then Michigan and LSU will wrap up the first day of play.
Well, you're right about Wichita State. The Shockers are legit. And they're not even a complete team yet. Marcus McDuffie, their leading scorer and rebounder, is out right now, and they've got everybody back. 93% of Greg Marshall's scoring and rebounding is back. And they are a veteran team, and they take nothing for granted. That is a hard-working group. Expect to win.
Yeah, if you're a college basketball fan, this is a team you need to know. They've moved from the Missouri Valley Conference to the American Athletic Conference this year, and they'll face tougher competition overall in that league, especially from the likes of Cincinnati. But Wichita State, a team that I know you and many others felt was drastically underseeded in the NCAA tournament last year as a 10. They've got a Final Four run in them back in 2013. They've been a 1 seed, and they certainly are capable of big things this year.
Yeah, it's kind of odd how the committee seems to have underseeded Wichita State so often. It's almost like they're not watching them play as much as they should, because Wichita State has been legit for quite some time.
And that's why a tournament such as this, if Wichita State going to get to the final, let's say they play Notre Dame in the championship game, if they can play 3 quality opponents, pick up wins against quality opponents, these games matter tremendously to teams that may not play in a Power 5 conference.
Well, plus, now going to the American Athletic Conference, they're going to get more quality games, period.
Yep.
But you're right. Adding these games is going to be a big deal.
Terrific follow there by Marcus Santos Silva. And that'll snap the run. And now we got a foul underneath the basket. Was it Mobley?
Yeah, Sean Mobley just gave a little forearm shiver to Andrew Rousey. So he basically just gave him 2 points. He's going to walk down to the other end, drain 2 free throws.
There's still 8:48 to go, and Marquette's already in the bonus, again with great shooting guards.
That's one of the difficulties when you play at such a high pressure pace, is it can put you in a position to pick up more fouls. Over the course of the game, VCU wants to wear people down, but they don't want their best players sitting on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, they're 2 seniors. That's Johnny Williams on the left. He's got 3. Justin Tillman is on the bench as well right now.
But they didn't even burn their fouls necessarily on defense. I mean, a couple of them were charges, and one on a loose ball where Johnny Williams took an unnecessary risk.
Crowfield open for 3, and it goes.
That's his 3rd 3 of the game. Malik Crowfield is the best shooter on this VCU team, and a really good player.
Down goes Rousey, and we'll have a held ball. It'll stay with Marquette, but that'll turn the arrow around for the next time, and that pressure still having an impact from time to time, not like it did though in the first few minutes of the game.
One of the problems, Andrew Rousey, when this trap comes, he tries to back dribble, but he can't see over it, and so he's looking over it, just lost his footing really for the 2nd time in this game. But he did something at the end there that, look, some people don't like it, I do. He didn't let go of the ball, and after it got tied up, he doesn't let go of it. And there's nothing in the rule book that says you have to let go first. And I like it when guys don't let go of the ball.
And try to do it himself, and gets through 3 defenders to get it into the front court.
Dangerous way to break pressure, but he did it.
Hanna. Good pass. And stepping out of bounds was Greg Elliott.
If you're going to throw it to that opposite corner, you basically have to jump out of bounds. A lot of teams do that. They'll drive the baseline, jump out of bounds to make that pass to the opposite corner.
Van having to handle the ball a little bit more with Williams on the bench. Good ball movement there, and Santos Silva with a soft touch.
And Marcus Santos Silva has done a nice job of running the floor. And that was a really good job of the catch and quick release before the defense could recover.
And he's a guy, Jay, who has lost 40 pounds since June. If you want to play this style, you got to get in shape. And the big freshman has done that. He's down to about 255 right now. A little soft touch floater.
It's a Phil Knight birthday bash with 16 teams, 2 tournaments, 1 time only. The PK80 starts Thursday.
Apparently plane travel has become so expensive that ESPN expects us to get there a different way. We'll be in Portland in no time for the PK80. Hold the tip.
Better not see that on your expense report, by the way. So what is PK80? It is a 2-bracket, 8 teams in each tournament that's going on. All Nike schools in Portland commemorating the 80th birthday of Nike co-founder Phil Knight. Duke is there. Carolina is there. Michigan State is there. Florida is there. Gonzaga is there. And on and on and on. We're looking forward to seeing more great basketball. We're here for 3 days, and then we're evidently canoeing to Portland and having games there on Thursday. Those games will take place Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
So Phil Knight gets some of the best programs in the country to come out and celebrate his birthday. I get a store-bought birthday cake, and that's it.
5-point lead Marquette. Golden Eagles in blue, the VCU Rams in white. Nearly another turnover. Howard saves. And there is a turnover. Good hands by Billis. As once again, when somebody threw him the ball, just like his playing days, they didn't mean it.
Well, really nice job here by Hanif Cheatham of curling that screen. And Sam Hauser set the screen. You worry a little bit about these moving screens that have been called, but he got his teammate open. Hanif Cheatham really is a good slashing player that is a solid defender. He can be a real stopper. He's on Isaac Van right now.
Mobley for 3. VCU back within 2.
Sean Mobley is a talented player, versatile, the best passer on this VCU team. So you see where he can knock down a 3, but also a good driver as well. Good fake.
VCU plays out of the Atlantic 10, picked anywhere from between about 2nd and 5th preseason as Hauser leaves it short, and a VCU with some numbers. Marquette does a nice job getting back, but they don't pick up the shooter, and that's a rare miss for Crowfield today.
He had made everything right before that. He hit 3 threes. I think he was 4 of 4 before he missed that shot. Well, I really like Malik Crowfield. He is a really good player.
What do you think their outlook is in the A-10 along with the likes of Rhode Island, St. Bonaventure, Temple, and others?
Really good. I'll tell you who's really good, too, is Davidson. That's not getting near the credit. They've got a player named Peyton Aldridge just coming off a 37-point game. He's the real thing.
Howard with an air ball.
Santos Silva did a nice job of getting a hand up and making him shoot oversized.
Van, quick 3. Annam, 2-on-1. Strong drive.
Yeah, there was some contact there. Isaac Van very fortunate he didn't pick up the foul.
We got some terrific wing athletes on both schools here, both teams.
No question.
Crowfield at the point again with Johnny Williams stuck to the bench with 3 fouls, unlikely to return this half. Jenkins from the corner, count it.
A good ball movement. That was an excellent pass by Sean Mobley.
He's playing well. Cheatham gets free. Boy, and Jenkins was with him and then let him go as if he was going to turn around and trap the ball, and that allowed Cheatham an unimpeded path to the basket.
Well, that's sort of what Mike Rhodes has been talking about. They'll have 2 or 3 minutes of really good play, and then they make a mistake on the back end of the press and give up something easy. You're going to give some things up. Mike Rhodes from Shaka Smart, they call it fix it. You know, you can't script out everything. What a pass.
Mobley can't finish, but a beautiful feed from Van. Back comes Marquette again. Cheatham, yes, and a foul.
VCU not getting back. There was no reason to be jogging back on that. We're talking about Isaac Van almost getting a foul on a prior play, but this is not your best transition defense. You give up an easy one and a foul. Really nice job by Anif Cheatham of keeping his eyes on the rim. I know I talk about that a lot, but a lot of guys with contact, they take their eyes off it. And if you're going to finish through contact, you have to keep your eyes up. Your eyes make layups.
Second foul on Van. He goes to the bench. We get a look at Tyler May, a freshman at point guard from Farmville, North Carolina, with the ball right now for the Rams.
Jamal Cain made a mistake there. Very fortunate it doesn't cost him a three.
Offensive rebound, Sims. And the bucket for Chris Lane. Lane, an interesting guy, fifth-year senior, grad transfer, originally from Richmond, played the last couple of years at Longwood. And as you said earlier, he's a big fella.
And a good player. I mean, he's going to be a really effective scorer for VCU this year. Been working a nice tandem with Justin Tillman.
Keep an eye on Rousey. Right now, big defender and Jenkins on him. Nearly took it away from him. Rousey gets free. Rousey gets it back.
Nice pass.
And another one. And the three is good from the corner for Jamal Cain.
Well, that's an excellent. These are two very good passing teams. That's called the extra pass, but really what it really was the right pass.
Marquette's now knocked down 5 threes. Both teams have, in fact. And we're going to push underneath going on ahead of Marquette to take us to the under 4 media timeout.
Well, Marquette didn't start off with the mindset they wanted, but after that timeout early by Steve Wojciechowski, here's the extra pass, and Anif Cheatham made the right pass, and Marquette with the early lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter.
Across the bow about the Opus.
I'm just glad that Chris Spatola is now educated.
Double figures for Andrew Rousey and Malik Crowfield today for Marquette. Rousey has made a couple of threes. Marcus Howard has not made one yet today. He's 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Crowfield with 3 threes and 11 points to lead VCU, which is hanging in there without their starting point guard, Jonathan Williams, on the bench with 3 fouls.
A little disappointing that Schick, Cuff, and Spatola are not wearing Hawaiian shirts. Get in the spirit.
Foul going against Hannum of Marquette. Not tough to get in the spirit when you're out here. This is what, your 15th, 16th time, something like that, covering this great tournament?
I think it's a great sign when you lose count. I don't even know.
That's a good point. Just know the illustrator's got a smile on his face from the moment he lands here. Sam Hauser, by the way, that big guy on the right, Hauser, his brother has committed. His brother Joey is part of next year's recruiting class coming to Marquette.
Joey Hauser is a top 25 player. And he's really good.
And an air ball on the free throw on the front end there from Lane. He's going to hear about that from Marquette fans, and there are a lot of them here. VCU's well represented as well, but Marquette has really brought some people. We're expecting to see the same from Wichita State in the second game. End-to-end for Rousey.
What a player he is. He may be small, but he started his career at UNC Asheville, had 41 points in a game at Asheville.
Jenkins for 3, and VCU, really, their three-point shooting is keeping them in the game right now. And a foul on Jenkins, and again Marquette going to the line. This time it'll be Cheatham.
And fouling Marquette is not like fouling just any team, because the Golden Eagles are an excellent free throw shooting team. So you foul them, they go to the line, they make their free throws.
Williams with 3. I believe that is the 10th foul. Yes, it is the 10th foul on VCU. So this is 2 free throws coming here for Cheatham, 6'5" junior out of Fort Lauderdale.
Of course, I'm praising their free throw shooting, and Cheatham misses.
Yes.
Do you believe in the announcer's curse?
Absolutely. I also believe in maybe praising them when a guy like Rousey's going to be, because then you got a better chance of it working out for you.
Oh, that's true.
I did it once. J.J. Redick had made like $1 million in a row, and I said it, and then he missed a free throw. Cheatham misses them both. Kane misses the 3. Cheatham has it blocked. Great play by Jenkins. That was an awfully quick look for Cheatham. It's a tough stretch. 2 missed free throws and a blocked shot. Jenkins playing with all kinds of energy right now for the Rams.
VCU does a nice job of driving and then throwing back.
Tillman slips it and scores.
That is not an easy shot to make. The catch, the quick stop, because Theo John was right there to try to draw a charge if you went too far. That was really impressive by Justin Tillman.
Rouse is doing a pretty good job with the pressure, don't you think, ever since the first couple of minutes, really?
Well, he's done a good job overall. There have been some Marquette turnovers. They got 11 turnovers.
Another block.
And that should count as a turnover. That was just a bad take.
Sims coast to coast, and a chance for 3.
Now, one of the things that you have to do when you're playing against a team that can turn you over and take it the other way, you still have to run really good offense. And Hanif Cheatham just took it a little bit too far. Stop short, put up a little short one, a little floater off the glass, and knock it in. Because when you take a shot like that, it gets blocked. You're going the other way, take a bad one. It's just as good. It's the same as a turnover. Your offense has to help your defense and cannot put your defense in disadvantaged situations or scramble situations.
Sims completes the 3-point play. He'll head to the bench. Changes for both schools. And given the pace, you expect to see a lot of substitutions.
Xavier Jackson now in the game. Another long athlete, a JC transfer. That is a good defender. Can get deflections and also knock down an open shot.
Time it's Howard getting the ball over. Pass. And John with a strong finish.
Well, that was a great. Marcus Howard's done a nice job. He hasn't found any open shots, but he's handled pressure. He's got the ball into the right spots, and that was a beautiful play by Sakar Annam.
Jenkins has it blocked by Elliott. Well, we've seen 2 3-point attempts blocked in the last minute or so. And Rousey gets another defender in the air.
When inside of the 3-point line, and when you're going 1,000 miles an hour, it's hard to keep this in your mind. You want him to take that 2. That's a tough 2. Let him take it. Just get some late pressure. But you tell your players, don't leave the floor until the offense does. That's a fabulous pass by Sakar Annam. Brought up Santos Silva and then dished it off, and a beautiful catch and finish by John.
Well, I'll tell you, you've got to be...
Wait, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
They never miss their free throws.
Yeah.
They never miss their free throws.
See, you're learning.
I am learning. I'm pliable.
Yeah. You can say it again right now if you want.
I'll tell you, Marquette, you don't want to foul them because they never miss their free throws. That's a good broadcast. Important safety tip for a broadcaster from Dan Schulman.
You say it when the guy who shoots 93% is going to it.
I always talk about no-hitters when they're going on, too.
7 for 7 from the line is Rousey, surviving the Billis curse. 5-point lead, Marquette.
We'd like to see Justin Tillman touch the ball here as a walk.
Profield, nice look. Good recovery by Howard. Jackson drives it. Tipped out. Here come the Golden Eagles, 3-on-2. Rousey. Might have had a better option on the wing there.
Yeah, he should have kicked it off to Greg Elliott. He was wide open. You think Wojciechowski's going to take him out for that?
Jenkins. And Jenkins with a strong drive. Annam tried to step in, but he gets called for the block. And Jenkins with a chance for 3.
Annam might have had a shot at that, but he fell backwards first. Yeah, he didn't take it completely. Just kind of fell backwards. And every time that happens, the referee is going to call a block rather than a charge.
Jenkins, a sophomore from Utahville, South Carolina. Just 15 games, missed about half of last season with a broken bone in his foot. A very athletic, versatile player, and a high school quarterback as well.
So whenever you got to go length of the floor, he's going to take it out.
Right. It's a bit of a cliche, but with Tillman not having a big half and Williams being anchored to the bench with foul trouble, Mike Rhodes has to feel pretty good about the score. Only down by 2, given the fact that their leader's been on the bench for most of the half.
I don't think either coach felt like they were going to be able to establish a big lead in this one. This is going to be a nip and tuck game the whole way. And remember,
Remember we said there are some games you get to them and you say, yeah, this one will be in the 60s. This one is one we thought had a chance to be in the 80s or 90s, and kind of playing out that way here through the first half. And we've got officials getting in there quickly to make sure this doesn't get any chippy.
Yeah, just a little time delay. No big deal. See, when Theo John comes over to block that shot, he can't bring that arm down. Just a freshman, and yeah, he gets pushed into him there. Referees are right there.
I'll tell you, Theo John and Marcus Santos Silva, we have two big freshmen.
Those are not freshmen. they were built in a lab somewhere.
The 1982 version of Jay Billis didn't look like that guy right there.
No version looked like that.
Jenkins has done some really nice things here in the first half for VCU. It's the roll on the second three-point game.
And one of the problems for VCU with Williams and Tillman out is they've very conservative hair on the floor at one time.
Making us feel better about ourselves.
VCU #1 in the country in hairstyles. Awesome.
Marquette will run the clock down, about a 4 or 5 second difference.
I figure there's going to be some kind of run-out ball screen here to get Rousey open. We'll give him a little bit of space.
Here it comes. Doesn't need a lot of space. He'll drive it.
Plenty of time to get a good shot here.
And Jackson fouled on the floor. But it's double bonus, so 2 free throws coming for Xavier Jackson.
It's a smart play by Xavier Jackson, taking it in transition.
Jackson a couple of years at a junior college in Wyoming, Sheridan Junior College. And again, just giving Mike Rhodes some minutes here near the end of the half with Williams on the bench with foul trouble.
There's still some time, just under 2 seconds, so you could get a home run play here, but not sure it's worth it. The one thing you don't want to do is turn the ball over.
1.9 to Marquette ball, up by 1.
Yeah, they're going to run a little. They're going to run a little home run play here.
Cheatham gets it off. And the first half comes to a close. A spirited affair, high-scoring affair. And Rousey doing a lot of good things. Both teams kind of plagued by turnovers, especially early. Settled down a little bit late. And a lot of good shot making as well. And a 45-44 lead for Marquette here at the end of the first half. Time now for the Land Rover halftime report. Back to the studio, Matt Schick, Dallin Cuff, and Chris Spatola.
Conservatively dressed.
Welcome into the Land Rover halftime report. Yeah, we tried to get some Hawaiian garb.
You're watching ESPN's coverage of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Welcome back to the beautiful island of Maui. Another perfect day. We are inside the Lahaina Civic Center. The first game of 4 you will see here during the Maui Gym. Maui Invitational on the ESPN family of networks. Great games coming your way here from this great gym. It's just a really cool environment to watch some basketball games, and we saw an up and down entertaining first half of basketball.
And both teams played well. Now you can clean up some things. Both teams had 10, 11 turnovers.
Yep.
You expect a few turnovers when you're going against VCU's pressure. VCU has turned the ball over. And one thing they've done, they've fouled Andrew Rousey too much. Rousey 7 of 7 from the free throw line, and you cannot put him there. But Andrew Rousey, one of the best players in the country that not enough people know about. An elite shooter that can score in a variety of different ways. A terrific point guard, but you put him on the line, he is automatic. And Malik Profield is having a terrific game. Got it started out with a steal and a bucket. Then he hit 3 threes after that. He has been a big part of this VCU offense, but VCU needs to take better care of the basketball and not turn that thing over.
Rousey made a couple of threes, knocked down all of his free throws. Profield made 3 threes, and it was huge for VCU, especially in the absence of Jonathan Williams, who only played 6 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. He is back out there starting with the ball right now, but starting the second half with 3 fouls.
Well, starting with 3 fouls, and that means Marquette should go straight at him.
And an early foul on Cheatham of Marquette. The winner of this will get the winner of Wichita State and Cal, which is the next game that we'll have for you today. The bottom half of the bracket, Notre Dame takes on Chaminade, and it's Michigan and LSU.
Interesting to see how Marquette comes out in this second half. Steve Wojciechowski has said his team has not been as sharp as he would like after halftime. And in fact, in practice yesterday, they had halftime in the middle of practice. They went up into the locker room, had halftime, and came out just to simulate what they were going to see in this game.
It was fascinating. They have not started the second half of games well so far in the early going this season.
I asked Wojo yesterday, I said, did you give him orange slices to simulate halftime? Because for some reason, every team has like orange slices at halftime. Yep. And he says, no, I just yelled at him for 4 minutes. I wanted to be realistic.
I know it's strange. We're sitting here watching practice. All of a sudden, we're alone in the gym. They're gone up the stairs. Let's see how they respond here today. Howard still can't buy one from beyond the arc.
Well, he hasn't scored, but Marcus Howard has done a nice job running the team when he has been at the point. 5 assists, only 1 turnover. Good fake.
Jenkins keeps the dribble alive. Fade away for the baseline.
And Tillman picks up a foul based on a really bad shot. A great fake and then a horrible shot that put a teammate in a bad spot to pick up a foul.
Second foul on Tillman. Who had 6 points, 5 rebounds in the first half. You got to be well conditioned to play for VCU. You've got to be well conditioned to play against VCU, and Rousey's certainly showing that.
Well, that's what this pressure can be. It can be like body blows in a fight, that it's going to take its toll during the course of a fight and then show up at the end.
That ball's going to Marquette, and I think a lot of people felt it should have been VCU's, and they're going to change the call.
One of the things that pressure can do over the course of a 40-minute game, it takes away the legs of shooters. And when you have elite shooters, as Marquette has, that ball was off Marcus Howard, that pressure can really get to them, and then they're not as effective shooting the ball late in the game.
Profield gets into the paint, can't get the shot off, though.
VCU's done a nice job of keeping size on both Rousey and Howard. It's a little bit more difficult for them to get a shot up over the outstretched arms of guys like Malik Profield and Dariante Jenkins.
Rousey 6 feet, Profield 6'4". Good offensive rebound, Hauser. And a turnover.
Took it right into trouble.
Williams will shovel pass. Lane will still finish.
Even though that looked like a walk, Chris Lane was bobbling the ball, so he didn't have possession of it. And that's why the referees didn't call the walk.
It's the first lead, Jay, for VCU since it was 10-9. Marquette's led by as many as 9. VCU led very early by 7. They were up 10-3 before Marquette got rolling. Look at this. Wide open underneath.
A really poor ball screen defense. A ball screen isn't just defended by the 2 defenders guarding the screener and the ball handler. It's got to be guarded by all 5 guys. Rotations, talk. One of the few times VCU did not talk and rotate at all. Just not an awareness in that ball screen.
Man, how many coaches said to us over the last couple of days, I need my guys to talk more on defense. It's amazing how often that seems to happen.
Here we take a look at the ball screen, and just a really poor job. Nobody picks up, nobody tags and picks up the cutter and the roll man. And a terrific job by Helt rolling to the basket, and the pass was excellent. And everybody hugging up on their man and not paying attention to the ball. The priority has to be the ball.
Couple of subs now for VCU. Isaac Van and Marcus Santos Silva into the game, and Mike Rhodes doing a little coaching with Lane and Tillman over on the bench right now. Maybe about that ball screen defense.
I thought Mann was wide open on that cut he made. Got a little up screen, diagonal up screen. It looked like he was wide open to get the ball underneath. Hard to get a rhythm when you play against VCU. They really take your rhythm away. Good recovery by Jonathan Williams. Horn set. Now here goes a back pick by Rousey. He'll get a screen.
Hauser from the baseline. Soft touch. Boy, that's a nice turnaround.
They took your hand down just a bit. Hand down, man down, and Isaac Van got scored over.
Van with a response at the other end.
There was some contact. That could have been an and one.
Here comes Here's Van to help on the trap, but Rousey again gets it over. Finds Cheatham underneath, hits the deck hard. Cheatham slow to get up.
Tough spot to make a catch and finish.
Turning into a track meet here at times here in this game. Tied at 49. Rousey keeps the dribble alive. Nice no-look pass. The extra pass. And still not Howard's day. Van stays down.
Good drive.
Howard with a floater. That's his third field goal of the day. He's missing his threes, but he's making his twos.
Now, VCU would rather have him take that little floater than a three. But both Rousey and Howard do such a nice job when they make a catch. That was a foul there.
Williams inside, can't finish.
Williams got fouled twice.
Yep. Hauser tried to thread the needle, thought Cheatham was cutting under the basket, but Cheatham had put the brakes on, and that'll send us to a timeout.
Terrific pass into the corner and driving the closeout. Those are tough shots for a little guy. Beautiful.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Another beautiful day in paradise here with the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. Marquette leading VCU by 2 here in the first game. Our next game, the Wichita State Shockers and the California Golden Bears. Bears in the house. They have arrived here at the Lahaina Civic Center. King Jones, former assistant, now taking over as the head coach at Cal. They got a couple of big guys. Kingsley Okoro, a huge guy in the middle, and a former Kentucky player, Marcus Lee, is now with Cal.
Yeah, Marcus Lee transferred back to California, where he's from. One of 2 former Kentucky Wildcats that transferred in. They're playing in this tournament. Charles Matthews at Michigan being the other. But Marcus Lee has been a really big impact for Cal, averaging a double-double. And what a smart guy. Yeah, technology geek. He was talking technology with our crew, and I think he kind of outdid him the other day.
So you're saying we should hire him for the games in which he's not playing?
No, I'm saying we should fire the guys we've got. No.
Tie game again after the bucket by Van. These 2 evenly matched teams. Marquette not shooting the ball as well as they normally do from 3-point range. They have turned it over. VCU has turned those turnovers into points, but by and large, Marquette's done a decent job handling the pressure. And there's the first 3 of the game for Marcus Howard.
Well, Marcus Howard able to shoot over Jonathan Williams. He had a tougher time doing it over Dariante Jenkins or Isaac Van. That's what can bother smaller guards, is length and size.
How about Howard? His brother Jordan averaging 27 points per game at Central Arkansas right now. So fake by Mobley. Tough baseline floater not there, and it belongs to Marquette.
What did Jordan Howard have against UCLA? 35
last week, 3 days ago. 35.
Another great free throw shooter. Those guys never miss free throws.
I guess Marcus, the youngest of 3 boys, his oldest brother Desmond, works him out a lot, makes him take 1 million shots. You know how that youngest brother with 3. I mean, he's got to be good, right? Because he always wants to play with the older guys.
Won a Heisman Trophy too, Desmond Howard. Is that the Desmond Howard? Can't be.
Can't be the same. Feeling it, but left it a little bit short. He's going to get another one.
That's a fabulous pass. Greg Elliott should get more than an assist there. That was a fabulous, smart pass. And after an offensive rebound, that is the best time to shoot a 3, bar none.
And the lead back to 6. Howard led the nation in 3-point shooting a year ago.
Held that follow through, and what a fabulous pass by Elliott. Grabs that offensive rebound, aware enough to find Howard for that step in. And after a shot goes up, the defense is not looking to play defense anymore. They're looking to convert to offense. And that's when you can really make a momentum play if you get that offensive rebound to kick it out for a step-in 3. You'll never get a shot that good or that open in any other circumstance.
Sims rejected. So Elliott's had an assist and a block in the last couple of possessions.
To have a freshman come into this environment and play with that type of awareness. Great pass.
John, what a feed from Howard and a chance for 3.
Scramble situation, a random ball screen in transition. And Sean Mobley just late getting over to pick up the roll man. You've got to be in the middle of the lane, and John took advantage of it. Marquette on a roll.
Yesterday morning, just down the block at the Sheraton Maui Resort and Spa, the annual surfboard presentation, a tradition here with the Maui Gym, Maui Invitational, all the coaches with their sunglasses on. Which of those 8 do you think is most likely to be able to get up on a surfboard?
It's a tie for last there. And it's also a tie for last on, I doubt Maui Gym asked any of the coaches in this year's field to be models for their product. Not that they were banging down our doors.
Right, that's a fair point. John at the line cannot complete the three-point play. It is an 8-0 run, Marquette. A couple of threes for Howard, then a bucket for John, and all of a sudden it's 59-51.
How you capitalize on a run is to continue it after a timeout. I think they have to look to Tillman.
Sims gets the bounce.
It was too easy to get into the middle. That was almost a straight line drive.
Rousey on the bench right now. Howard handling the ball, and they do get it over.
Notice how Marcus Howard stopped short of the midcourt line because you're often going to get trapped as soon as you get it across. Well, Sakar Annam was wide open off the switch. John Mobley switched out, and that left Annam wide open on the baseline.
Elliott turns it over. Van, nice feed, and Sims has it knocked away. Ball still belongs to him. Williams not really a three-point shooter. Van will try one. Howard with a nice tap out, but it belongs to the Rams. Williams much more adept at driving, getting to the rim, maybe mid-range floaters rather than taking a three. Just not his game, really.
Well, he was 3 of 30 in his career before this season.
And he actually already has 3 this year.
He's worked on it. He's still not a
Van, just nowhere to go right there for Van. They'll play on, and finally it's going to be a tie-up, and the Arrow's going to give it to Marquette. And mass substitutions again, including Rousey returning again for the Golden Eagles.
Marquette did a really nice job there with Rousey on the bench. That's best case scenario for the Golden Eagles. Rousey gets a little bit of rest, and he comes in with his team having a lead. So now you have 3 excellent shooters on the floor right now for Marquette.
And a hobbling Isaac Van on the bench for VCU.
So when he went down, it did look like somebody fell right on top of that right leg.
Hauser helps break the trap, or break the press, and then goes the last half of the court by himself and banks it home with a soft touch.
Just under control. And Steve Wojciechowski calls Sam Hauser the most indispensable player. He's not the best player, but the most indispensable.
Tillman really forces it up and gets it to go.
And did so off a broken play.
Rousey head up all the time and again gets it over with help from Hauser, who gets the bounce on the three.
Well, the shot was really good, but how about the catch by Hauser? That was not an easy pass to corral.
So Rousey and Hauser with 2 terrific possessions to extend the lead to 9, but it's back down to 7 and maybe 6.
Couldn't tell whether that was Helt or Rousey. This is not an easy pass, and a terrific catch. And an excellent shot. I told you these rims were soft.
See, this is all in my contract. Every time I do the Maui Gym Maui Invitational, they're required to get me a yacht. Not a rental car, a yacht. And then I take everybody on the yacht because that's the kind of guy I am. So you're welcome.
Is any of that true?
It's all true. Just because you didn't get invited, let's not have a hissy fit because I didn't invite you.
Day 1 here with the Maui Gym Maui Invitational, a tournament that started way back in 1984 and has seen so many of the nation's top teams come here and have success and compete for a championship. Got Wichita State and Cal in the second game. Notre Dame Chaminade, Michigan LSU also here out in Maui this year. By the way, how about next year's field? Duke, Arizona, Xavier, Gonzaga, among others.
It's ridiculous.
Hauser lost it.
Another turnover for Marquette. We talk a lot about Marquette's offense, and rightfully so. This is an excellent shooting team that can put a lot of points on the board, but Marquette, for the most part, has defended pretty well in this game.
Mikael Sims is giving VCU some nice minutes off the bench. He's up to 9.
And VCU shooting just under 40% in this second half, while Marquette well over 50%.
Screen by John to free up Howard. Boy, that's right out of the Marquette playbook right there.
You have to stay connected. These are not big guards, and you have to be there at the point of the screen. If you're late getting there, they're going to pull up and shoot it. They make a ton of these open shots. These are elite shooters. Marcus Howard and Andrew Rousey.
And all of a sudden, Howard's got 3 threes and 15 points. He and Rousey each with 15 in the game.
He really didn't do much other than run the team in the first half, but he came out and answered the bell in the second.
Crowfield left hand, no. Marquette ball.
Nice job by Hauser to come over and challenge without fouling.
Oh, Howard is open. Hauser had a wide open Howard behind the arc, but took the free himself.
These shot fakes and ball fakes are working for Marquette. Surprised Tillman didn't drive Theo John there.
Tillman for 3. Yes. Tillman into double figures now with 11.
This is where VCU has to have a stop. Just under 10 minutes to go. Have to get a little bit of momentum. Good move.
Howard the drive and the kick. How about the extra passes? A couple of them. Hauser from Rousey.
That was absolutely beautiful. Talk about unselfish and wanting to get the right shot. A terrific drive by Marcus Howard, then the pass out from Howard to Hauser, but that's a great refusal of the ball screen. And you got 2-on-1. Crowfield has to play both. And that was like a game of pickle in baseball, being caught in a rundown.
Hauser with 3 threes. He's got 13 points now as it rattles home for Lane.
Isn't it fun to watch guys that can shoot it?
Yeah. And they got 3 of them who can really shoot it.
It's like watching a great golf swing. It's just repeating.
And Hauser at 6'8", too, he can get that shot off over so many defenders. From Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
This is the point in the game where you start to ask, will the pressure that VCU has brought all game long, will it take its toll on the legs of the Marquette shooters?
Nearly a turnover. Still 10 to shoot. Hauser alone for the offensive rebound. And he'll get the assist on the Howard 3.
What is that, 3 or 4 threes that this team, Marquette, has made after an offensive rebound? And Hauser was just quicker to the ball and more alert than everybody else on the floor. That was a below-the-rim rebound that was worth maybe a lot more than 3 given the time it was taken.
Sims, no. Rousey the rebound.
Good pass.
Cheatham, another one around and out. Almost went down for Cheatham. Would have extended the lead into double figures.
It didn't go in, but a great shot taken.
Williams.
Wow. He walked. Great move, but he walked.
Down to 7. Well, that's a big sequence right there. Cheatham missing an open 3. And then Williams coming back with a bucket to make it a 7-point game. Under 8 to go.
Don't you love Jonathan Williams? What a great player.
Yep.
And a great teammate. I mean, Mike Rhodes just gushes about his ability to bring others with him. Here's the double. Great pass.
And again, no weak side help for VCU.
Well, the double was way too late. A hesitant double and not a rotation. And Sims has to drop down there and rotate, and he did not do that. Sims up top, but that's what the three-point shooting will do for you. Sims just not alert enough. What a great play by Sam Hauser. And guess who's most excited? The 1997 most valuable player.
Getting down in a stance.
That has to hurt.
There's tons of time left. Everybody got me. There's tons of time left. But we got to get stops. We got to sit down and guard. We're making it hard on ourselves down there because we're giving them second shots. You understand that?
11 offensive rebounds for Marquette, and they've turned those into 18 points. That's the point that Coach Rhodes is trying to make.
And a lot of those have been threes. But how about the second half that Marcus Howard is putting up? He's got 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover. 14 of those 18 points have come in this second half. And Marcus Howard went 0 of 6 from 3 in the first half. And in the second half, he has been a really focused offensive player. Now, he did a good job in the first half. He just wasn't making shots. But yeah, I think in the first half, he had 5 assists, 1 turnover. A good job to move the feet by Hanif Cheatham. Not letting De'Riante Jenkins get around him.
Williams muscles his way in and draws the foul. That's where he's tough. He's built like a fullback as he tries to drive the ball into the lane.
It's like guarding a bowling ball down the lane. And he's an excellent finisher over size. Just powered his way in to create that foul. Jumps right back into Andrew Rousey. I think Theo John was the one that got him, but could have been called on either one.
Williams coming off a 14-point, 8 assist, 1 turnover game in a loss to Virginia on Friday night. And the game was moved up a little bit earlier, and VCU flew from Richmond to Dallas on Friday night. They were supposed to get out first thing in the morning Saturday and practice here on Saturday, but they had some flight issues, some delays. Took them several hours to get out of Dallas, so they didn't get here until Saturday evening. Missed their practice time on Saturday.
Well, they have been calling themselves Road Warriors, and Mike Rhodes has said we are going to have 0% complaining. I mean, when he was at Randolph-Macon and in college, he'd have to ride around in a van. He says, we get to go to Maui and play basketball. What's wrong with this?
How about the second half for Marcus Howard? Howard now with 20. He's the high scorer in the game. Williams, too strong.
A good block out by Matt Help. That may not sound like much. That was a big play by Matt Help to get that block out, secure that rebound. We're in the horn set.
Rousey got the switch. Got a big guy on him now with Mobley, and now Hauser's got a mismatch with Williams.
They want to use the backboard there, I think.
Nice look. And that is one they desperately needed. Crowfield for 3. His first points here in the second half.
They've been very quiet, and he's an excellent shooter. Maybe the best shooter on this VCU team. And he has got the green light. It's not a foul. It's a trip. Unless it was by his own guy. I didn't see anybody there.
Held with an offensive rebound. Howard's open.
The ball got tipped.
Yep. Santos Silva got a piece, but VCU's leaking out before they had the ball. How many chances can they get on one possession? And eventually they'll make you pay.
They just keep you so off balance and so spread that it gives guys like Hauser and Help opportunity to operate without blockouts.
And a big answer at the other end.
Crowfield's a good player, isn't he?
He is 5 for 6 from three-point range, Jay.
That's why he has the green light. Mike Rhodes is smart.
Keeps feeling like it's slipping away a little bit from the Rams, but then you look at the scoreboard. It's a 2-possession game with a lot of time left.
Neither team is going to run away from the other in this type of game. They're both playing to their strengths. Marcus Howard, one of the elite shooters in the nation, and this team, Marquette team, needs him to score. But this year he has become more of a target on scouting reports, which means he has to do more. He's got to be a threat that makes things easier for others. And in this game, he's done just that. He has rebounded. He has found teammates. But when he spots up and gets those feet set, forget it. He is making it.
He started 0 for 7 from three-point range in the game. He's now 4 for 13. He's got a game-high 20. Has added 6 rebounds and 6 assists as well. And just a sophomore.
From Chandler, Arizona. How many players from Arizona wind up in Milwaukee? Originally committed to Arizona State.
Stan Johnson, one of the assistants at Marquette, was on the ASU staff at that point. When he decided to reopen his recruiting after Herb Sendek was let go, Johnson, there in your picture, got him to come to Marquette. What a dynamic duo in the backcourt. I mean, Rousey and Howard, you would imagine they have some great shooting competitions at practice. Rousey's turn.
Coming off the triple screen, triple stagger down low. But he's having to turn over his left shoulder there. That's a tough turn to make.
Sims off to Tillman.
Well, Hauser and Pelt did a nice job stopping that penetration and then recovering and just being big and forcing Tillman to score over him. If he makes it, he makes it. Just don't foul. Run that same set. Now they're running it for Hauser off the other side. That's beautiful.
He knocks down a corner three. Hauser's got 16.
So everybody looking for Rousey coming off the Hauser screen. Then Hauser comes off the other end. Just a little misdirection play. Beautifully called by Steve Wojciechowski. Great execution.
Tillman foul.
All right, now watch number 10 here, Sam Hauser, as looks like he's setting this screen here, and he is. Then he goes the other way. His defender is totally lost and gets a wide open three on the other side of the floor.
Jay, they've now got 13 threes in the game. Now they've taken 35 of them, but they have made 13 threes. They've taken more threes than twos in this game.
They've had so many second chance opportunities after getting offensive rebounds. And they look out to the three-point line. If they don't have an immediate stick back, they are looking for a three. And that is such a dagger and so debilitating. It's like a gut punch.
And they've done a nice job, especially here in the second half, handling the pressure. Turnovers have not been as plentiful.
Marquette doesn't want to take another foul on John. He's just trying to pick off the defender. And that goes down as a turnover. It's just a little dribble, just a little handoff situation. You just got to just hand it off and let the offense play. Let Marcus Howard decide what to do. You don't have to lean into it.
So both the big guys from Marquette, John, who's in the game, Helt, who went to the bench just moments ago, they both got 4 fouls. Williams somehow finds some room and is fouled. Boy, that would have been big had that shot gone down. As it is, he'll be at the line when we come back. Marquette up by 8 here in Maui.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Maui Visitors and Convention Bureau and visitmaui.com.
It's a Phil Knight birthday bash with 16 teams, 2 tournaments, 1 time only. The PK80 starts Thursday.
So many of the top teams of the country will be there. 2 separate 8-team brackets. You can see this one has Duke, Florida, Gonzaga, 3 ranked teams, and a really interesting matchup between Butler and Texas. You'll get a look at Mo Bamba, one of the great freshmen in the country. He's a Texas Longhorn. Then the other bracket includes North Carolina and Michigan State. The 2 brackets will not meet. It's 2 separate 8-team brackets. Each will crown a champion. 2 arenas right across the street from one another in Portland. We're looking forward to getting there on Thursday.
Marquette shooting 52% in this second half, while VCU shooting just 42%. VCU has kept Marquette off the free throw line, but they haven't really been able to turn over the Golden Eagles in the second half. Better ball security for Marquette.
And more pressure now for VCU. By the way, the last foul before the timeout was on Theo John, his 5th. He's out of the game. VCU came up with the ball and then handed it right back over to the Golden Eagles.
You can't catch the ball in that coffin corner and expect to get it out of there, especially when you're throwing it to these tiny guards, Andrew Rousey and Marcus Howard. It's too tough for them to see over. Good pass.
2-on-1. Cheatham with a finish.
Cheatham's left-handed, and he forced Tillman to make a decision. If he came to him earlier, he would have dropped it off to Helt. Otherwise, he took it all the way. That was a great finish.
Williams forces it up and in off the glass.
He's so good at that.
Yep. Stays with Marquette. You can see again VCU, they are ramping up the pressure now. Just 3:24 to go, and they're down by 7. And they've only committed 2 fouls here in the second half.
A nice little pivot and took the ball the other way against a good defender underneath Cheatham and scored right over him. And right now, whenever Marquette catches the ball, they have to catch, face the defense, be strong with the ball, and make a play.
Cheatham with the offensive rebound and a foul. Boy, the VCU just not getting it done on the defensive glass.
Actually, VCU looks a little tired.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, given the really long trip that they've had. But they look a little winded right now, and grabbing onto their sides, bending over a bit.
And whether it is an excuse or whether they would use it as an excuse, again, they're basically 1 day behind every other team here because of the travel issues that they've had, and they've come about as far as anybody. And we're all familiar with jet lag.
Well, they'll never use it as an excuse, but it is a reason. It's an absolute fact.
All the other teams, 2 days worth of time to get adjusted and 2 practices out here. VCU really won because of the travel issues they had on the way out.
VCU's got to go to Tillman. Let Tillman touch the ball.
There it is. And the 3. Well done, Mr. Billis. Down to 5 and still a lot of time.
Still have to attack the pressure to score, but if not, use some clock, be aggressive but smart. Anytime the ball goes to the bay, you're taking it to the basket, you have to score or get fouled. There's a little flex action.
Howard driving the baseline. Gets it to go.
How about that shot? Lost the ball, still had the presence of mind to waft up that little jump hook at what, 5 foot nothing.
How about 18 in the second half for Marcus Howard, 22 in the game.
He's played a really good floor game.
Helt ahead to Hauser after the turnover and a finish.
Some uncharacteristic mistakes on the offensive end for VCU that have turned into points for Marquette. The Golden Eagles putting up some points in this one, aren't they?
Up to 90 right now, up by 9. And the clock is their ally as well. Williams gets the roll.
Eventually he is going to get past you.
Keep in mind, after 40 minutes of this kind of a pace, both of these teams are playing tomorrow. 3 games in 3 days for everybody here, regardless of how many you win and how many you lose. And they'll run some clock. Down to 7. Down to 3.
Sam Hauser's had some kind of game. He's played a complete basketball game in this one.
Trofield spinning, lost it, stays with the VCU. Tonight after Monday Night Football, stay with the ESPN for Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. He'll break down the Legion of Boom's performance minus Richard Sherman, plus an exclusive interview with Cam Newton, and on the 5-year anniversary of the butt fumble, Katie Nolan continues the countdown of the best not top plays. That is not Scott Van Pelt.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
Well, he's moonlighting out here in another capacity then.
VCU's got to think about fouling, and they foul the best. Isn't that a great thing for Marquette when you've got a 90+ % free throw shooter and Andrew Rousey with the ball?
But no bonus yet, right? They got to foul a few times. Just that's only the third team foul.
Yeah, they have to keep fouling, but that puts them in a really bad spot. But right now for VCU, you don't have to worry about the foul. Go for the ball. If you foul, fine. But go for the ball. Just don't go right away for the foul.
Make that the 4th committed by VCU here in the second half. So still a couple to give.
Right now, a big play for Marquette is to make a good beat cut and get open and be strong with the ball, because you know VCU's coming at it with everything they've got. Man, they have great free throw shooters at the end of the game when you want them to foul you.
guy's going to have the ball in his hands a lot.
Just run away from people.
And there's number 5.
See, why does Chris Lane get to grab him there? And that's not an intentional foul that would normally be. That's not a legitimate play on the ball. And I know he's trying to foul there. I'm not saying they should call it, but by rule, why would you call it in other spots and not there? I mean, he just grabs him. And they just let him get away with it. We're either going to call this game by the rules or we're not. And that was right in front of the referees, and there was no doubt about it. So what's the difference whether a guy's going in for a shot or he's doing that?
One more foul to give. And there it is. So the next one now will put Marquette on the line into the bonus.
See, that foul to me was fine. You can make an argument he's going after the ball. Everybody knows they're trying to foul. But you can't just grab him.
Jenkins back into the game now for VCU, and Elliott will check in for help for Marquette. Another guy with some better ball handling skills. Another guy who could wind up on the free throw line. Don't want to foul him, but they do.
They don't have any choice. That's exactly why you love having guys like Rousey and Howard. You get the ball into their hands and just dare people to foul you and salt away a game.
Rousey 7 for 7 today, 93% last year from the line.
I'm not sure what Steve Wojciechowski, assuming they're going to hold on and win, what he's more proud of. You know, the fact that they did a better job with the ball in the second half, didn't turn it over as much. They were alert and getting offensive rebounds kicked out to 3. I think their defensive performance in the second half, Marquette's, was pretty darn good. And for a team that has struggled to defend last year and a little bit into this year, they've not been, defense hasn't been this team's forte. I think they defended pretty well in the second half.
And their energy was as good, if not better, in the second half as it was in the first half, which was a concern of his coming in, especially given the pace.
Yeah, maybe they don't have to have halftime in practice next time.
No more orange slices. 9-point lead, just 30 seconds to go. Wichita State and Cal still to come of the second game of the first session today, with Notre Dame, Chaminade, and Michigan LSU later on tonight. Turnaround no for Tillman, and Hauser, who's had a really good game, doing a lot of good things in different areas, comes up with a rebound. And the folks from Milwaukee are feeling it right now.
They should feel really good about the way this Marquette team has played. And you're right about Sam Hauser. He's either got a double-double or he's right on top of it. Very good on the offensive glass. Excellent passing. Turned it over a couple times. He's blocked a shot, got a steal. He's scratched in every category. And you can see why Steve Wojciechowski considers him the most indispensable player on this team. He just makes winning plays.
19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists for Hauser. 19 points ties a career high for the sophomore. And there's a new career high with 20.
Everybody's talking about Joey. They ought to be talking more about Sam.
Williams for 3. Great rebound by Cheatham. And he fell out of bounds before he got rid of the ball, so it's back over to the Rams. What are you looking for from Wichita State and Cal in our second game?
Blood.
Really?
No, it's going to be an up-and-down game because Cal, under Wyking Jones, they like to press.
Yep.
And they do have size, but they're going to try to get 94 feet. They're going to try to get after Wichita State. But Wichita State's the better team. And it's a team playing without. There's Landry Shamet. You can see their outstanding point guard, probably the best pro prospect in this entire tournament.
Just a sophomore. Guy's coming back from a foot injury. There's a block for Hauser. And Hauser and Tillman having words.
Well, Tillman pushed him. And the referees didn't see a thing of it. They need to go look at that because Tillman is really frustrated, and he pushed him, and Sam Hauser didn't like it. And the officials were not on top of that. That could have been a fight in a heartbeat. There's been some frustration. Well, watch this. He might have thought he got fouled. It's a great block. But he fouls him right then, and then he pushed him
again. Yeah.
And the referees didn't see a thing of it. It was just a great block, then a foul afterwards. And then he pushed him again. Hauser had enough.
And as you said, we've seen some frustration from Tillman. Saw a little bit of it in the first half.
I don't know why the officials aren't going over to the monitor to look at that kind of thing.
Yeah, agreed.
This has not been one of the better performances we've seen in those type of things. Because we remember when Tillman in the first half put his foot on the face of a Marquette player. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Hauser. I don't remember.
Good job by Mike Rhodes to get Tillman out of the game as Marquette wins it 94-83. And they will move on to face the winner of Wichita State and Cal. VCU will play the loser of the Shockers and the Bears, which is our next game coming up this afternoon. Big second half for Marquette. The Continental play of the game here today. Marcus Howard, who was huge in the second half. He had 18 points, 4 threes after the break. Finished with 22, a game high 22 in the game. And Hauser making big plays as well. Boy, they shared the ball beautifully, and they made 13 threes in the game as they take the game from VCU by a score of 94-83. Coming up next, the number 16 of the nation, Wichita State, taking on Cal, so don't go anywhere. In between games, we're going to send you back to the studio now for continuing coverage of Feast Week. Matt Schick, Dial of the Cuff, and Chris Spatola are back in the studio, guys. Take it away.
Thank you, guys.